All right. Welcome to the podcast where we discuss important topics like David Bowie. If he was alive, should he have been Master Chief?
That would have been awesome.
I would have been. I'm just saying, like, live action David Bowie, Master
But
Chief,
not
like,
but not just like a live action David Bowie. I want like a musical out of him.
and like Ziggy Stardust era David Bowie.
Yeah, okay. That would have been cool. It's kind of like a labyrinth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We're off to a great
Dance
start.
magic.
So, Justin, we have a couple of things that we need to discuss here.
Okay.
Now, I believe we mentioned Halo, so let's point out the fact that the Halo series is being made into a show on the worst streaming service ever, Paramount Plus. Unless you guys
Right.
sponsor us, then it's the best, but you haven't given me money
Right.
yet, so until then, you don't get...
You're the worst.
Yeah. Great.
Actually terrible.
Awesome. We're gonna get sued for slander. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
let's talk about this.
So-
This garbage.
Okay.
Garbage idea.
first of all, I don't understand what they're thinking.
Right.
They announced that they're gonna make it so that Master Chief's face is shown. We talked about this a
Right.
little bit ago.
Yeah.
Why?
Right. That
Like,
was,
why
one of the
on
biggest
God's
questions.
green earth? Like, I actually had a lot of hope for this show, and then they announced that, and I'm like, why would you ever think to do this?
Yeah, so I don't really understand the whole thought process behind it. I'm sure it's kind of along the lines of every TV show now or every movie is kind of along the grab of nostalgia or just they want to do something that'll literally grab your attention so hard that you'll waste your money and then regret it later.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's just... That's, like, one thing that, like, you can't fuck with, you know? Because this is Halo we're talking about. We've had, what? How long has it been since Halo was first released? 2000 something?
Dude, I couldn't tell you. All I remember is being a little baby boy wanting to play Halo, man.
Yeah, it was made in 2001.
Right.
So
So,
it's
it's
a-
been over
21 years since Halo has had that secret of Master Chief's face, and we've only gotten, what, like an image of his eyes this entire time?
Not just that, there's a scene obviously in Halo 2 where if you go behind the scenes, right, I'm sure everyone knows about this that knows Halo, but where he takes off his mask in the Pelican and underneath it is
It's just another mask. Yes. I mean,
there is no way
the
that
closest...
they could pull off a good Master Chief.
Yeah. Do you remember... Did you ever watch the Fall of Reach series?
I never watched. I may have watched maybe one or two episodes. It just wasn't kind of my style.
I never watched it, but I definitely read the book.
Okay.
And I think the book came out before the series. But, we obviously see Master Chief's face in that series, but he's a child
Right.
then. It doesn't really give away the mystery of what his face looks like as an adult because, you know, he's a child. There's no point into caring about
Yeah.
it. So I didn't really
yeah.
care about that. But here's the thing. I don't know where this show is taking place either. So I'm imagining at least like late 20s for Chief in this show, right?
Right.
So definitely an adult. Still, not a good point to reveal his face because that's
Yeah.
adult era Chief.
I agree. Even though, yes, like he's still technically a child, like just because of the way that they age and stuff. But
Yeah, but still.
yeah, there's not really a good way to honestly show his face after all these years. Luckily, I did hear that this series is not going to be canon.
Really?
Yeah,
Why would they even make it then?
exactly.
This just totally destroys my other half of the argument. Oh my god.
yeah,
Is it
so
I didn't even hear about this. I really should have
it's
done my
not
research
supposed to
before
be
this podcast.
canon, dude. And I don't even remember. Didn't they have a thing on Cortana too? Everyone was talking about for a minute.
She looks really like she's for me at least she's bordering on Uncanny Valley Cortana here.
Yeah.
It's real weird. Like I don't know, have you seen the face yet?
No, dude,
It's bad.
Oh, actually, you know what? There's been some thumbnails I've seen that have most likely have had it, but yeah, it
I
looked
don't
really
like it.
weird.
I don't like it at all.
Because they make her very humanoid, yeah, and it's very colorized.
Well, I mean,
humanoid.
like,
Obviously, she's a human.
yeah,
I don't
but
know why I'm specifying humanoid, but she
I
is a
need to
human,
point out that
kind of.
she's supposed to be a clone of Dr. Halsey and has nothing, doesn't even look like Dr. Halsey.
Right.
Like, I guess maybe it's just like a younger version of Dr. Halsey, even though if this is taking place where it takes place, like, from the trailers, what I've seen, it's definitely taking place probably somewhere between, like, his creation and the fall of Reach. But, like
Right.
I said, well, now, like you said, now I don't know what to think, because none of that matters anymore, because it's not canon.
Right.
Which is weird. I don't know why they would... I don't know why. You know, like,
Well,
we've
because, like I
had...
said, everything these days is just money and cash grabbing and nostalgia, and if you can play it off real
At this
nice,
point, it
then,
seems
well,
like
there
it.
you go.
At this point, it really seems like it. I mean, now I'm willing to now give this show a chance just because I know it's not going to fuck with the story.
Yeah, it's not gonna make sense anyway. So
And I was like so back and forth on this. Apparently, this is Steven Spielberg who's making this.
is it?
Yeah, he's treating.
Oh.
So he said that he treats this like a pet project, like a or not a pet project. What's the like a I don't know what he said about it. It was like a legacy project or something like that. Something real weird. But he's put a lot of effort into it, and I'm like, did you really? Master Chief's showing his
Right.
face here. I don't think you really put a lot of effort into your research here.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate mystery of that game.
Which, yeah, I don't think anyone has ever wanted to see his face, actually.
No,
Because you can't
like
even really imagine a face. Once you imagine a face for something, it kind of ruins the mystery behind
exactly.
it. and kinda
Look, I
gets rid of the whole
Yeah.
he's a really strong man feature.
because it takes away the like once you kind of see the face, you're like, oh, he's human. You know, like he can't do these things. He's human. But like the second like you hide that face, it's like he can do this. He's Chief.
Yeah, I mean, that's just I don't know.
I mean,
I
that's
don't know
really
what to think about it.
that's really why in the games, you know, they refer to him as demon because they don't see him as human.
Right. I mean, he's just another alien creature to them.
Exactly. He is their boogeyman,
Yeah.
and so that kind of really like ruins the boogeyman aspect is to see his face. And I know that a lot of this has to do more with the fact that like a lot of actors are wanting their face shown. And so when you're playing a character with a mask, they have to kind of appeal to the actor, which sucks because honestly, I like when a character doesn't show their face. Like Hellboy.
That's why I was kind of disappointed with Mandalorian.
Yeah, exactly. That was another thing. It was like, look, I have nothing wrong with Pedro Pascal. Like he's actually a really like attractive actor for all like means necessary, you know, but it's just not how I pictured. Hey. Hey, I don't need judgment here.
no judgment, man. No
Okay.
judgment.
So
But
like
yeah.
but it was the thing that like it kind of ruined the moment when they first revealed his face because that is not at all how I pictured the Mandalorian. To be honest, I don't know what I pictured, but it definitely wasn't Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, no.
And
I
at the
agree,
time I didn't know who the Mandalorian was. Like I didn't do any really research into the face behind the Mandalorian, so like I kind of didn't want to for that reason. And
Right.
the fact that the whole show surrounded the fact that he doesn't take off his helmet really drove the point home of like, honestly, this is what I wanted. I don't want
Right.
to see the face. I want to know that there's like that's like the fear into it.
Well, it's like it's different because we got to know like Jango Fett and stuff. I mean, now we're going into Star Wars realm, but
Oh no, well I mean
got
like
to
this
know,
is
like,
just video
Jango
games
Fett,
into
right?
movies, and that works fine too. Well, yeah, we
Right,
knew
so-
Jango Fett. like,
We knew him as more of a person because he wasn't really that whole Mandalorian, right?
yeah,
He had the Mandalore armor and whatever from there, and we obviously know what Boba Fett looks like, even though I don't want him to take off his mask, and he does inside of the Book of Boba Fett, whatever.
yeah, he takes it off a
Um,
lot. I mean,
yeah,
like,
old man. But
yeah.
my point being is like when you're I guess advertising him as the Mandalorian, the whole Mandalorian religion is kind of based, or I don't know if it's really
And
religion,
they just
right? It's more of a
that's the thing. They describe it as like a true Mandalorian doesn't do that, even though they kind of like once Bo-Katan shows up in the Mandalorian. Did you ever get that far?
no. I had to stop watching it. I got too bored.
So yeah, Bo-Katan from the Clone Wars shows up, and she points out that Mandalorians each have their own creed, and Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, he actually shows up. Like he's a part of the creed that they really drive the point home that like true Mandalorians don't take off their helmet for anybody, and so that's why Boba Fett and Jango Fett and Bo-Katan all take off their helmet because they're part of the creed where it doesn't matter to them. They are Mandalorians by birth, not by
Okay,
not by creed.
makes sense.
Yeah. And so, yeah,
Either way.
yeah, a little off subject of the video games, but I mean, Star Wars have video games, so.
We can definitely talk about them.
Well, we still have like more video game movies that we could possibly talk about, like, Uncharted. Actually,
Yeah.
you don't care
So-
about that, do you?
No, I mean I'm okay to talk about it and stuff. I mean I never was a really big Uncharted fan or anything, but I'll tell you, Tom Holland, great actor. I don't see him as a rough and tough character like the main character from Uncharted.
See, that's the thing. I've never played Uncharted either. I know very little of it, and maybe that kind of helped with like going into it because like of the fact that I had no experience with Uncharted, so I was pretty clean slate. But he actually did really good. Like like you'd think that his face like says no, he's not Nathan Drake or whatever, but he actually kind of like the way he holds himself in that movie, he actually does kind of like show his age to be like what he's supposed to be. Here's the thing. So I went with my girlfriend, the regional expert on Uncharted. She loves those games. She loved the movie.
Okay.
And so she pointed out that this was the story of Uncharted 4, but the characters of Uncharted 1.
Okay.
So by this time, Nathan Drake is supposed to be younger.
Which I guess would make sense.
Yeah. And so he's actually like he actually does a really good job. They even get like the cameo of Nolan North. You probably know him best as Ghost.
Oh, I know him as a lot of things.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, they get him as a cameo in there because obviously he's Nathan Drake in the games.
Right.
And he actually did a really good job with the movie. I thought it was great. It was so fun. It actually it did make me kind of excited for a second one.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then here's what kind of confuses me now. Because that movie did really well. Now we gotta talk about the big bad here, Justin.
Okay.
You and me are not the biggest fans of the fact that Sony has recently purchased Bungie. Not Bundy, the serial killer.
Yeah,
they got his body.
To make even more documentaries or movies about him that are actually going to be sucking so bad. But yeah, okay.
They recently purchased Bungie.
Right.
And not really any specific reason. Like I don't. They clearly don't plan to make Destiny a
Sony,
like a PS4 exclusive.
or PlayStation exclusive. Sorry, I'm still in the mindset that no one has a PS5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't. So It's okay.
Right.
So obviously, yeah, like, so they clearly don't want to make it a exclusive, and they've already said that they're not. And if they did, Xbox would take Call of Duty away from them, so they can't do that. But seriously, like, so the only thing that they've mentioned that is possibly going to be a thing is that they want to make a Destiny movie.
Yeah,
Or
I've heard they want to make a
series.
movie or a series, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, if they were to make a series on that, it would have to be, because I am, here, let's just specify here, I am all things Destiny expert.
Yes.
I love that game. It's been in my life for, the entire time.
Ever
it's been
since it,
out,
yeah, ever
6,
since it
7
came.
years, whatever it was, but
I was in high school when it came out.
yeah, exactly. I was in my senior year of high school when that came out.
Wait, not even that. I was in middle school when that game came out.
I was in my, oh wait, no, Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is when I was in my senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was way back. Yeah, we were way back in like middle school when Destiny like 1 came out. Anyway, besides the point, I would be a huge critic of it, because if it's something that's kind of, I guess, non-canon, or what they're doing with the Halo series, and they're just like showing
It's just a money
everyone's
grab.
face and just money grabbing and just trying to get everyone to get on this train of, hey, we're making your favorite game into this so you can come watch it, but you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, it's
has-
just like, hey,
I
we
think
have
it
the
would have to
name.
be-
Like they're purchasing
exactly.
the name.
Exactly. If it's just the name and it's nothing really like the game or anything, I would see that as a huge problem. But if they were to make a TV series about the Golden Age, or the kind of like the Book of Sorrow, like,
The Book of Sorrow.
it would be, the Book of Sorrows kind of goes into the whole Hive. It goes into their whole lore,
yeah.
kind of like what they've done with Savathun in this new DLC.
Yeah.
They've kind of showed how the Witness, the Darkness, we're gonna spoil this here, so
It's cool. I haven't finished
if
it,
you
but it's cool.
haven't,
Just spoil
I
it
know
for me.
you haven't, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. But for anybody's spoiler alerts here for Destiny, if you're playing or anything with it, I'm just gonna be talking about this for a sec. Anyway, Brennan, if you're editing this, just make sure you put a spoiler warning before I even mention the Witness. Everyone should know by now.
I mean, I'll just have to like cut this, like, just right before this part, leave a voice audio, because it's gonna be all audio only, obviously, because we're recording on
Right.
Spotify, guys.
Spotify, they're not a sponsor, but we're doing it
They will be.
anyway. So with the story, Savathun, the reason she's doing what she's doing, Brennan, I'm sorry, but the Traveler was going to choose the Hive.
What?
So what had happened was the Traveler was sitting at the Hive's throne worlds, or the actual world of the Hive, and then the Witness, part of the Darkness, what it seems, had lied to them and told them that the Traveler was not going to die like them, or all this, and that they have to live in the dark and be evil and all that.
Really?
So she was originally lied to. God of
Damn.
Lies was lied to, kind of thing. So I would like more backstory on the Hive, and kind of going along with Savathun, Oryx, and their brother. I can't remember his name at the moment. I don't know why
Crota?
it slips my mind. But I would like to
No,
know
not
more about their stories, back down with all that stuff. And honestly, there's the YouTuber, my name is Bife, who has a really good job at lore explaining of Destiny and all that. So he has a whole video all along the Hive and stuff. But
do you?
long story
Sorry,
short,
real
I
quick.
would want a TV. What's up?
Real quick. The other sibling. Are you talking about Sivu Urath?
That
Isn't-
was the sister, yes.
Yeah, but there was only one brother, and that was Oryx.
Right. Yep. The other sibling. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
The
So I just had to be.
Ravens
I had
and-
to be sure that I wasn't missing a sibling here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So well, here's the thing. They do have some experience in a live action Destiny
With the trailers and stuff.
with the
yeah.
trailers. The promos for the game were really good. I mean, like, they actually made it kind of exciting to think about the possibility of a live action Destiny like show and or movie. But that's the
Right.
thing. There's so much about Destiny that you really have to like go into a lot of detail with.
Yeah, and I mean,
Like-
they added the lore books inside of the game too, where you can go and read all this stuff. And
Yeah, and
But-
it's not easy to like. I mean, all this stuff is hidden behind lore books and not in the game. There's very little
right,
in the game that actually describes what is going on.
exactly. Yeah, you have to actually read it in the lore books, which obviously the lore books are in the game, but it's a difference from actually showing it through like a story or
Yeah.
just visuals and stuff. So
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna really
And
read and all
and
that.
I understand that makes it harder for some. It makes it harder for me. I mean, like,
Right.
I like it. Sorry, I was delivered a cookie. I like it when the games just kind of like give the lore in the game,
Yeah.
because I usually have more time to play the game than actually stop playing the game and read through the lore books. But yeah, like, they have so much, and obviously, like, I'd prefer if they do it, that they do it in a series and not a movie, because obviously, because there's so much to deal with that they could not fit it in a movie.
Right.
Yeah, like if they tried, I'd be so pissed, because like you'd have to go through like years. You'd have to go through
Right,
years.
yeah.
And at that point, the movie just wouldn't even make sense, because there's just so much to deal with that you're just like, where are we at in point of time?
Right. So going off the whole thing of like thinking whether turning games into TV series and stuff, I think it kind of just depends, right?
Yeah.
It's like, does it have like this really big backstory where there's tons of lore and different things you can do that
Like-
are canon towards it? Or
Yeah, the ultimate question, like, you could do it, but should you?
exactly.
And I don't know
Personally,
if
for me,
I don't-
I think
yeah.
no.
Yeah, I don't think or Destiny is the kind of thing to like be a series. It's
Exactly.
real.
I
It's
would
really
rather it all
something.
be game.
Yeah, it's really something that really just deserves. I mean, it's at this point, it's like trying to fucking put in lore of Dungeons and Dragons into a movie, and they've tried it. I don't think it was ever good. Yeah, so it's like, but Halo, I feel like we've already kind of gotten to a point of no return with movies and series and stuff like that, because of
Even with the game, it's kind of at a point of no return, to be honest with you. But
yeah. So should we talk about that? Should we talk about Halo 5 or 6? I mean,
Halo Infinite,
Infinite.
not six,
Sorry.
buddy.
um,
It's just
actually,
yeah, dude.
should we talk about that here? Like,
Sure,
Maybe-
why not? Why don't
yeah.
we just talk about how that game kind of is just showing how Halo is really de-evolving?
yeah, we've talked about our actual subject, and now we're getting on to our bonus clip of what the hell happened to Infinite.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that would fight and definitely put their little 2 cents into how Halo Infinite's actually one of the best Halos.
Well, besides you, I haven't heard anybody talk bad about it, and I don't have the best opinion on it either. So I'm just glad somebody else has an opinion on it,
So
besides the
my-
group.
My issue is with people that they want to believe that it's good because it's been a very long time coming to have a new Halo game with new things and a new story with all this new stuff. So I can see why people would like it. It's definitely a new style, but what Halo Infinite did, what 343 Studios kind of just ruined for me, was they added all these guns specifically into the game that are like the Commando, the Stalker rifle, all these guns like that are trying to be their old what is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Predecessors.
Yeah, thank you. It's looking for those. It's trying to be those, but why didn't they just use those? and make it
Exactly. Okay, so interesting. There was like a lot more that I thought you were going to be upset about, and I'm surprised is it just that?
Oh no, I have more, but
Oh,
that was one of the
okay.
main things.
Oh,
Is
interesting.
why do they have all this stuff that is trying to be something else, but why didn't they just use the original stuff?
Here's the and I don't understand. They've already announced that they're adding more guns, but at this point, they're
Okay.
not. I don't think they're adding new guns. I think they're just adding old guns. So it's the question: why didn't you just have it there before?
Right, and why weren't like the stalker rifle? Why wasn't the storm rifle? I think it is. I don't know. Either way, it's this the new shock rifle type,
Yeah,
shocky sniper. Why didn't they just put those in as DLCs?
and no for being a Halo ring, absolutely like no Forerunner weapons.
Right,
Like
when we had those introduced, and they were even in Halo 5. I would argue that Halo 5 is a way better game than Halo Infinite.
my biggest gripe was not even the it wasn't even the guns. It was the story.
What did you have wrong with the story? And then we'll go into mine.
See, I don't. It makes so little sense. It was not needed. The entire story was just basically a murder mystery of what happened to Cortana, even though at the end of Halo 5, it made it seem like Cortana was going to be the big bad. And they were like, ah, man, but we want to make it tie into Halo Wars, so I guess Cortana's not the bad guy and she's already dead.
Right.
And I'm
See,
like,
that's why I was like, why did they have no explanation of what happened to Cortana? Exactly. Why was it a mystery? And then all of a sudden she's just some really, really good entity.
yeah.
Like we
Listen,
had a
she
really
killed.
good storyline.
They talk about how she killed all of Seattle.
Yeah.
She murdered Seattle, and then all of a sudden, at the same time, you're also supposed to feel bad for her because she was horny.
Yeah, a horny AI.
That's all it was.
Halsey really made too much of a clone of herself right there, buddy.
So they mention it in the book that Halsey was just really interested in Chief of Fall of Reach. It's a really good book. I suggest reading it. But Halsey was just very interested. She was very intrigued about Reach or Chief. She kind of always kind of like felt an extra connection to him. But I think Cortana just being a clone and having that connection, she didn't understand the emotions and it immediately switched into love. Whereas Halsey always saw it as intrigue.
Yeah,
they don't
okay.
specifically say love, but the way she holds herself when she's talking about Chief, she very much is like obviously talking about like she's like very much in love with him.
Okay. Which, yeah, makes sense. And honestly, I would have, as weird as it sounds, would have liked to see kind of Cortana and Halo, or Master Chief, and Hey Mr. Halo.
Pornhub.com.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see it. But I'm thinking, like, what if they were to actually kind of push along the whole narrative that they were kind of in love, can't be together kind of thing, because obviously she's an AI and there's never going to be a way that she can, whatever, right? That would have, honestly, that would have been a better story than what they had in Halo Infinite.
And
And actually having them just actually partner up and finding a way to save her
exactly. So here's the
instead
thing.
of, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry. You go ahead. Sorry. I'm cutting
No,
you
I
off.
don't want to anymore. It's your turn.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't understand why you had to do that.
No. Please continue.
No, it's cool. It's fine. You were saying?
I feel bad now.
Oh, don't feel bad. I'm just pissed. It's fine.
Just come on.
No, you're good, dude.
Um.
I was just gonna keep going along with the whole Cortana horny.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I feel like we could have even have a better story. Say this happened. Fuck weapon. Okay. No, not fuck weapon. Okay. Hold on. I gotta rephrase that.
Yeah, that's also on Pornhub. So.
Yeah. Forget weapon. There's no need to make a clone of Cortana. That was stupid. Honestly, probably could have ended Halo right then and there with Infinite.
Mhm.
They had so much planned for Infinite that I don't even think anybody realizes that wasn't gonna be like just never became a thing. They could have made it to where Cortana was the main bad. You're trying to stop her. Halfway through the game, you stop her, realize she's not the main bad, this weird, stupid, the Forgotten or whatever they're called, the new race of aliens that's going to be the new big
Are they
bad.
Forsaken?
No, I don't think they're Forsaken. I don't know. There's something stupid.
The new brutes.
Yeah, the new. Oh no, not the Forsaken. No, they are the Forsaken, but the new, like, the thing that was apparently worse than the Flood. Can we talk like the worst thing that the Flood, that weird, like, Mass Effect looking alien at the very end of the game? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
It was some weird looking.
Oh, the Warden?
I think so.
I think it was the Warden. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever her race is. Maybe
Right.
you can keep that, even though you totally just forgot about the Forerunners being a problem.
Right.
Maybe you keep that. Halfway through the game, you defeat Cortana. All of a sudden, the Warden shows up, and you're like, "Oh, this is worse." Final. Oh, sorry, I just bumped my mic. The final, like, team up between Master Chief and Cortana to defeat the Warden, and then you just end it there. You don't have to go any longer.
Yeah, see, that's where I think, honestly, Halo 4 should have been the end of Halo.
Like, just watching her disappear.
Yep. Either watching her disappear or die. They could have ended it with her dying or something else, because Halo 5's story was obviously trash. Very disgusting and very stupid. The one thing I did like about Halo 5 and why I say it's a better game is because the multiplayer was actually fun.
Yeah, it was really creative.
It was very fast-paced. It was new. It felt obviously kind of a little bit like Call of Duty's fast-pacedness. You could customize a lot of your weapon stuff with whether you're shooting out of a different scope or different bullets. The Promethean bullets, which is...
Man,
to
I don't
me,
even remember
really
this kind
intriguing.
of... I don't even remember
Yeah.
this kind of detail.
Yeah, you could have shot your little Prometheus shots out of your DMRs, like all that stuff, man. They had the kill effects to go along with it. So I think Halo 5 was all in all a really, really good multiplayer game.
Yeah. Story was ass, but...
Yeah, if it was just a multiplayer, whatever, I think they could have done a lot. They could have made that one into a battle royale. Like, I know people were trying to do that with the whole custom forge and stuff. They tried to make a battle royale version.
Yeah.
Didn't really work too well, but it was something, right? And that was like the biggest thing that Halo Infinite was going to bring, right? Is everyone was teasing, oh, they're going to do battle royale and they're going to make it very new. Honestly, that would have probably saved the game.
Weirdly enough, even though I wouldn't
As
have
much as
wanted
I hate
it...
to say it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted it, but it probably would have saved it.
Probably would have saved it.
I hate to say it, Dr. Disrespect kind of was right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, dude. But they rushed it. Even though they've delayed it, they definitely rushed it.
God.
They weren't ready to polish it. Forge wasn't even added. Multiplayer campaign obviously still isn't even added. Like, there's just a lot wrong with it that they said they were not going to have happen again. Their biggest thing was like the split screen campaigns and stuff, right?
Yeah, and then
They said that was not going to be an issue again. And look where we are. We don't even have multiplayer campaign.
Yeah, well, technically they do have split screen, but it's like you have to like fucking hack the game to try and get it.
Yeah, so all in all, I think 343 is cash grabby. They don't care at all. I don't think they're fans like they say they are of Halo. And if there are fans of Halo working on it, like, I'm sorry, you've done a bad job.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the gameplay for Infinite. It's really fun. Maybe not a Halo style, but it's fun. Like, the grapple hook is actually really fun. I don't think it works lore-wise, but the grapple hook is fun.
Right, and I mean, for a sci-fi game, yeah, it makes sense, right? To have kind of this futuristic grappling hook, but to me is, why get rid of the jetpack then?
Exactly. They're like waiting. They're holding shit
already
back.
had a jetpack.
They're holding shit back, and I'm like, why? Why are you holding it back?
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like, we could have used the jetpack in the campaign to get around rather than a grappling hook.
Do you remember?
So why did we get rid of that?
Yeah. Do you remember when Infinite was first announced? It was
just him showing his helmet, wasn't it?
and it was at E3, and they were talking about how this was going to be a continuation of Chief and Spartan Locke's story. Do you even remember that?
I don't even remember that they said that. We'll have to show the clip or something, or whatever.
I'll see if I can like pull it up, but yeah. So maybe I'm wrong, but I remember them specifically saying a continuation of Chief and Locke's story, because we were kind of upset because we didn't really care about Spartan Locke. Like, Spartan Locke was just kind of there, and we were more worried that he was going to be a replacement for Chief than anything.
Yeah.
And then you play Infinite, and they kind of imply that Locke is dead.
Almost, yeah.
Well,
he's like alive but dead, right? Because they found it. They have his helmet.
One of the brutes has his helmet on his fucking thing. I'm like, is he fucking dead right now? Like, why would they tease this and then all of a sudden it's like, never mind.
Yeah, so I don't understand what this is. Like, I feel like when they were writing this story, it's everyone trying to scramble of like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, last second, it's like, oh, hey, we also need to finish this game in like 3 months, but we don't have a story. What do you want to do for it?
Exactly. And I'm like, why? Why was
That's
this?
exactly how the game felt. Obviously, it was really, really cool. Don't get me wrong. I love the open world aspect of just going around and mindlessly killing stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely the new age of games, is open world.
But my problem is they did open world wrong. I don't think there's any replayability.
No, there really isn't.
Take something like Skyrim. We're still playing that game today. Like,
oh yeah, I know. Literally, I was playing it last night.
Exactly. I saw you on it, so I just figured that I'd bring it up.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, that game has so much replayability. It's been around for more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
The same game. Whereas Halo has to change.
Exactly.
Even though people will go back and play Halo, it's still the same thing. To me, that's not a lot of replayability. Right?
Right.
So there's not enough for it to be an open world game. Even for something like Far Cry. Far Cry, it took the Far Cry model.
Yeah.
Taking over outposts and turning them into marine outposts.
Oh my god! And then
like just pods, right?
The bullshit. Continue, but I gotta rant about something.
Yeah, but they took this model where you could still go back and play Far Cry, and probably enjoy it. And they have almost a longer story. I would almost argue.
Probably, yeah.
But Halo didn't do it well. There's only like a couple legendary weapons, maybe one for each weapon.
Like one for each boss or something like that, and there's like 4 bosses.
Yeah, and they're not like insanely cool weapons either. It's like
most of them don't even work.
They'll do a little bit more damage or whatever. That's all you're gonna get though.
Yeah, like most of the like unique weapons and stuff like that, they looked cool, but they didn't even like most of the basic weapons did better. Like at the very end of the game, you get the brute's hammer, and then come to find out the basic hammer actually does more damage, and the brute's hammer actually sucks.
Exactly, it's like
it's just looks.
You made all this stuff for what? Like, did you expect us to have fun with it? Sure. Did we? No.
Like, I definitely had fun in the campaign, but, I mean, as long as I pretended there wasn't a Halo.
Exactly. Like, I loved it for the gameplay aspect of just running and gunning and shooting and dead corpses.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Sorry?
Bundy? Sony?
No. Anyway,
no, but like I do got a rant about how they kind of ruined the replayability for me in the middle of the campaign. Because
in what way?
Well, because I'm playing through the campaign, I finally finished the freaking campaign, and it turns out it doesn't freaking matter what you do before the campaign, because no matter how many outposts or how many things you've done before the end of the campaign, if you complete the campaign, they reset all of that. You have to go claim all of those again. Why? Why would you waste my freaking time like this?
Well, then there's also the fact of skulls.
Oh
Why
my!
couldn't we play? Why can't we replay? We play.
They said they're gonna add that later. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. It's everything is like, oh yeah, we'll just add it later. It's fine. You can deal with the game as it is right now.
And that's the cash grab.
Exactly. We have to like it as it is because it's their way.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, why don't we just delay this part? And they could even have just said DLC.
Exactly. It's the replay levels DLC or some shit like that. Like
Yeah, I don't know. They could have just made it something where it's like, okay, I understand.
it's like taking a textbook out of
like,
the
hey,
EA.
We didn't finish that, and we're actually gonna like make you wait for like I don't know until we want it.
It's like the ultimate cash grab. Is like not even that. They probably do have it finished, and they're just like, but we could hold it back. We don't have to release it.
Right. They could be doing it just so we actually keep playing the game.
Yeah.
I don't. I actually deleted the game the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't want it on my PC. Like it's just space because it's like I'm just sitting here waiting for something to get better when I don't really want to use that definition of insanity of waiting for something to get better when it's not. Like,
and I don't play it on PC because I think Halo deserves to be Xbox. You know. Like
I understand that.
But yeah, it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there gathering dust until something interesting comes out, which even like they just recently announced that a bunch of stuff is going to come, but they don't say what, and it's not really enough to intrigue me. They're just implying that a lot of things are going to come when the new season comes out, which is like next month.
Right.
Which
I don't think it's next month actually, is it? I thought it was in May.
I think March, they said. March 10th or something like that.
March 10th is in 4 days.
Wait. Oh, shit, it is March. Oh, well, then maybe it is this month.
Really? Did they
maybe
say that? Oh, damn. I thought it was May.
They said something. Maybe it's May. I don't know. It's something with an M. That's the hardest part, because it could be May, could be March. I just know that they have the next season ready.
Okay. Which, hopefully, they bring stuff.
I know. There's so much that we could complain about this game, but there's a lot that they did right. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot that they did right. I mean, I love their season idea. Well, here's the thing: is like obviously they're gonna still charge you for the seasons, but they don't put a time limit on the season.
That's true. Yes. So yeah,
and you
you're
could
right.
just
with the seasonal model of like you can do it at any time that you want.
Exactly,
like,
and then you can
nice.
wait to purchase seasons and stuff like that. I think that was like a good idea and something maybe even Destiny should do. Something especially with how many cosmetics are in Destiny, they really should do that.
Yeah, they really need to bring something there. But I agree, dude.
Yeah, it's something.
One more thing I want to talk about that Halo did wrong. Because
that we could probably go back to our original topic.
I was gonna talk about the cosmetics because you brought it up. What the hell?
God!
Were they thinking?
What it's like 2 steps forward, 15 steps back.
They said we are gonna bring Halo Reach customization to Halo Infinite, but we're not gonna do that and actually give you something that's worse.
I know, they're basically like, yeah, you can have Halo Reach customizing and stuff like that, but you also have to play as those characters from Halo Reach, or else you can't universally. They're character specified. I'm like, why? Why?
It feels like they tried to do a Star Wars Battlefront, bringing every era of Halo together.
Oh my God, that's
but
right.
You still have to.
But at least Battlefront did it good.
Yeah, better. I won't say good. At least the new Battlefront, right?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I don't want to even talk about them because they're being bums right now. But yeah, Halo. I'm sorry, you're bad.
We miss you, Halo. Come back. We miss the old die. Halo. Yeah, either die or bring back the old Halo.
I'd even like the drug dealer Halo, to come out. The drug addict Halo.
God dang it.
But I just I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's like, ugh. Like I don't even know what to think about one of the childhood games that we grew up on. Like, how do we even continue?
Yeah, exactly, man. But all in all, yeah, please don't make our video games movies.
Oh my god. Yeah, since we're technically getting back on subject. Yeah, so PlayStation has a movie trailer or thing, or like movie intro now.
Interesting.
So they show a bunch of like PlayStation things. It's very similar to if you booted up God of War right now, and you see the like kind of trailer or like intro thing that they have. It's pretty interesting, like, but I think it's not much of a intro as much of a teaser, you know?
Yeah.
I think what it is they're teasing their next movies.
Okay.
And so they're showing stuff like Little Big Planet,
Okay.
God of War, which maybe, like,
Okay.
I could probably go for like a PlayStation 4 God of War movie as long as they got a good person to play Kratos.
Who would you think would play Kratos?
Man,
James Earl Jones.
James Earl. Yes, modern day
His
James Earl.
voice? Yeah,
Neil
his
deGrasse
voice
Tyson.
Yeah, with a very scientific.
Long as you
God
get
of
like
War.
a African American person to play Kratos.
I think they would do a really good job.
I think man, who would be good? Man, I do know that he's like one of my favorite voice actors.
Oh, Luke Bryan, yes.
Luke, this country singer.
Can you imagine that?
Oh my gosh,
Him as
Luke Bryan as
Kratos,
Kratos. I'm gonna Photoshop
Oh
that.
man.
Man, he plays Spawn in like a lot of the like he voices Spawn a lot.
Luke Bryan?
Luke Bryan, yeah. Um,
Uh,
man, that's gonna kill me if I don't know. I gotta find out. It's not Luke Bryan.
obviously.
Voice actor.
But I mean, I guess while you're doing that,
Keith David. I mean, his voice, beautiful for
did you
Kratos.
say Pete Davidson?
Keith David. Pete Davidson.
David. That's why I got really
Oh
quiet.
my
dude.
God.
I didn't want to say anything. I was like,
Pete Davidson for Kratos. I would pay real money to see that.
I don't think I'd want. I don't think so.
Oh my god.
That's why I got really quiet though. I was like, I don't know what you mean.
No,
But
Keith
no.
David would be a good
Keith
voice,
David, okay.
but I don't know who could match the body. You know? Like,
Idris Elba.
oh, hold the fuck up. Hold on. Actually, though?
I think Idris Elba would actually play a really good Kratos.
He would! Okay. Actually, what the heck? That would actually be really good.
I think he would play the really good, like, at least the
The
God of War 4 one, right?
The PS4, right?
Yeah, I think he would do a really good job at playing that. But to say the least, though, I just think the best idea for all video games
It's
to
just
stay
stay video games, yeah.
and let another writing or another writer take over the screenplay for other stories.
Mm-hmm.
Leave video games to video games.
Maybe just get
keep movies to
inspired
TV.
and make something original.
Exactly. You can use them as exactly what you said, inspiration.
Yeah, I think maybe at least if you're gonna make a video game, a movie, get permission from the gamers, man.
I
Ask
honestly
public opinion. Ask public opinion, because most often than not, people are gonna say no.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Um,
I would for 100% say no.
Well, we are coming up on our last little bit, so we have enough time for like one more subject. Let's talk about, since we were just talking about Idris Elba, let's talk about Sonic.
What about it?
What did you think about that movie? The Sonic movie.
I never saw it.
You never saw it?
Nope.
Really?
I almost refused to.
I'm not gonna lie, unironically kind of love that movie.
Oh,
Like, they did really
they
good.
brought it back, huh?
You know that, like, the don't be suspicious, that guy?
Yeah.
So he's Sonic.
Ah.
Yeah, so he actually does a really good job. And the reason I mentioned Idris Elba is because he's playing Knuckles in the second movie.
Oh yeah, you know what? I did hear that.
And when you mentioned that, like, I thought back to his voice in the trailer. He'd actually be really good. Like, I'm actually really excited to see him as Knuckles. Like, I've never said this before. I kind of want to fuck Knuckles.
First, that's illegal.
That's illegal. No. He's not real. I'm allowed.
It's still an animal. Don't care if it's real or not. It's an animal.
No, but they actually, like, did you ever play the Sonic Adventure games?
Briefly.
Like, those probably were, like, they were simultaneously the trashiest yet best Sonic games to ever exist. So they're actually, it looks like they're really going to be focusing this movie on. So the first movie, you could probably kind of get away with, like, not liking it because it really is just its own thing. Like, they didn't have any kind of inspiration besides bringing Sonic into it. And then randomly they had an image of Sanic.
Did they really?
Not even joking. So there was a homeless man who saw Sonic, and his profile picture that he like drew for the police to find him was a picture of Sanic. That's not even a joke.
That's actually awesome.
It's kind of amazing.
Interesting. Man.
But so yeah. The second movie though actually looks really interesting because they're actually kind of focusing on Chaos Emeralds. And
okay.
this
so
is
going back
so
to
they're
kind of the root.
Yeah, so they're doing like a little mix of Sonic 2, the video game, and Sonic Adventures.
Okay.
So obviously Sonic 2, Knuckles was a villain in the beginning. I think it was Sonic 2. One of the games, Knuckles was actually a villain because he's under the impression that Sonic is trying to steal the Chaos Emerald.
Okay.
And so he's defending it. And so in this movie, same situation, Robotnik has tricked Knuckles into thinking that Sonic is after the Emerald. And so now he's working with Robotnik to defend it. So
yeah,
by the end of this, they will have made Knuckles a good guy because I'd imagine so. They're making a TV series about him on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Which, weird.
All in all, so that's the thing though, is like, see, with something like this, with Sonic, that was a game.
Yeah.
Right? So, do you prefer it more now as a movie?
God, I'll be honest, I kind of prefer it as a movie. Because here's the thing, Sonic has always been a hit or miss when it comes to video games.
Right.
Like, he was, a contender for Mario, but just could not beat Mario. And that's why, he shows up a lot more in Nintendo, and why Sega doesn't have their own consoles anymore is because Sega's just really, kind of given up the fight against Nintendo here.
So, I'm going to say a pretty unpopular opinion. I never liked Sonic, nor do I think it actually works.
And honestly, a lot of people probably share your opinion. I feel like Sonic was a good idea, but I feel like he probably, now at this point, he kind of exists higher in, TV, media, and movies.
So, yeah, let me explain why I say that.
Yeah, no.
Please.
No.
If you wouldn't mind.
I would.
Oh, yay!
I'm sorry, Justin. This is not your time for opinions. This is time for my podcast. I'm joking.
Ow.
Our yes, communism.
So the reason I actually don't think it works is when you're going like 4,000 miles an hour on a 2D plane with a small FOV, why the would you think that's a good idea?
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's why it's always so hit or miss, because Sonic is so disorienting. It's like playing The Flash as a video game.
It makes no sense to me as a 2D side scroller game.
Yeah.
Obviously, time constraints of like ideas back in the day, and technology constraints. Like obviously
Yeah.
they couldn't make like a full 3D move around game, but it would do a lot better. Like kind of what they did with I can't remember the game, but it's a 3D Sonic game where you're kind of just running on that same kind of like plane of the fields, right?
Like,
Where it's just like a 3D run and go.
yeah.
Whatever. That makes
That's
more
like
sense to
most
me
Sonic games, yeah.
rather than the 2D pain of the originals. That's why I never understood why those stuck around so much.
It just, for some reason, that, like, him as a character stuck with a lot of people, but honestly, like, I think he definitely exists better as a, like, TV or movie character. I never really, I mean, I didn't really think about this until now, like, until you brought it up, but I actually kind of prefer him as in a movie or a TV show.
think exactly. I think he's more of a superhero kind of,
Yeah, like,
I guess, character
he,
rather than a video game character.
I think, and with movies and TV, it's so easy to, like, convey him the way that people want him, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's why
we
the
kinda
games are
see
hit and
that,
miss.
right? Well, that's what we saw with the movie studio, where everyone was like, "Hey, that's not Sonic." They changed it, and then they portrayed it as something that they wanted, and now it's a good thing
And now Chris Pratt is going to voice everybody.
because he's really cool.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I agree that Sonic would actually be more of a video or movie or TV series type character rather than the video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, he definitely works more in
So
that sense.
did we just break our own
I think,
argument
wait,
of
yeah. Oh my
I
God.
guess
I guess
all
it
we
just
have to
really
say
depends.
yeah, we really got nowhere with this. It really depends. It just depends on the situation of kind of the characters and the story and the world behind it, I think. I think it's pretty complex of why, but for me personally, it just has to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, in a weird
In the
way,
weirdest
video
way to
game
put it.
movies have to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, to us that have like really been indulged in video games and stuff.
I
that
mean, our whole lives.
if you're taking our characters that we've kind of put our imagination around and
yeah,
you're
there's
trying to visualize them as something else and not really what the character is, where we're not controlling it, it's a studio controlling it, right?
yeah, and there's like
We're not making our own story.
there's
It's them
years of
making the story.
expectation.
Exactly.
And like
So-
I forgot to mention this when I was mentioning like the things that PlayStation was announcing and stuff, or like hinting at, is my theory. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of those like things that was showing up in that intro. I think that would be okay to make a movie, because there's not a big expectation on that, because I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn is still fresh, you know. They could easily
Yeah.
make a movie on it because there's not years and years of expectations built around it.
Right, they could just make it a Disney movie, call it Cyberpunk Brave.
Cyberpunk Brave. Oh man, speaking of Cyberpunk, we need to talk about. We're gonna add this as a subject for another podcast, but we need to talk about video games that failed.
Oh yeah,
That is a good subject.
I would agree. So maybe we'll do that next time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, we've hit about 1 hour in this
Okay.
podcast. Do we want to say any like last second things? Like maybe just like add like a couple minutes so that like I can edit something. Thanks
Being
for
a part of this.
thanks for
This is
listening.
obviously episode 1.
If you want to listen to more, please
Please.
give me money. I'm broke.
Give us lots of money.
I guess it's probably, you know, it's better time to like announce like stuff that we have going on. Justin, do you have any like social media you want to like talk about? You want people to follow you, or do you want to just pretend like you don't exist?
I like the non-existing.
Do you want people to
But
follow your?
I will plug. I
your-
will plug the people that I am working with for another thing. Twinamigans.
your Twitch friends, right?
Yes, my Twitch buddies. They're twins, white Hawaiian twins. I'm working with them on their YouTube and their Twitch at Twinamigans. But that's about it. I mean,
Yeah. I'll actually check
all I
them out
really have.
because are they funny?
oh, I made a new video. I believe I released it yesterday, actually.
Really?
So,
All right. And then I guess I'll plug my YouTube channel. It is Virtually Nerdy, youtube.com/virtually nerdy. I think that's what it's called. There might be like a 31 or something. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's just virtually nerdy.
I post twice every week. Working on some God of War, and we're working on a lot of VR. So, yeah. We're really struggling here, if you can't tell. We don't know how to end this. We've never done this before. How did we end
I'll
it?
just say, hey, Brendan, let's end it right now.
Ah!